Thus far, you've mentioned Rochambeau, Lafayette, and Lincoln. Who are some of the other senior officers you have with you in this engagement?
The question is, who are some of my other senior officers? I should probably mention, though he's not in this engagement, the second in command of the Army. That is Nathaniel Greene. He's in command of the Southern Army, which is down in the Carolinas presently. But here with us, Lincoln is my second in command. I have a number of generals with me. I have R. Clinton. That's a confusing fact that both armies have a General Clinton. Most of you must be aware of the incident that occurred last August, not far from here, near James City, in which General Wayne nearly saw his forces destroyed. General Wayne is with us presently. Commander of our artillery, General Knox, is here presently. I also have a number of excellent men on my military family, but those aren't senior officers. I'm asked regarding the treason of Arnold. I pride myself, sir, on being a good judge of character. On most occasions I am. But only the director of all things is all-knowing and all-seeing. One of my military family asked me the other day if I believe that Arnold suffers pangs of conscience due to the decisions that he made at West Point. I certainly do not. Because I believe that the blood that flows in his veins is just as black as any demon's. And therefore he is unable of such sensitive emotion. Other questions?
This question perhaps seems small compared to some of the others, but I've seen many soldiers and officers about, and I did notice one day that on the coats of some soldiers there are cutouts that resemble hearts. And I wondered if those had any significance, or if any part of the uniform had significance either to how we feel about what we're doing or what we hope to achieve.
The question is, do the cutouts on the regimental skirts have any significance? And they do not. In fact, the enemy used the same.
Okay.
There's I don't know that I have any on this particular coat. No, I don't.
You don't see any.
General officers don't usually wear their coats pinned back, so you wouldn't see them if I had them anyway. But on the inside of skirts, on many of the men's uniforms, it varies with regiment. There will often be some emblem. A heart is very common, either done in red as a heart would be expected, or in the facing colors of their coat, or in the body of their coat. So blue, and if this coat had them, they would be blue or buff. This particular coat, not the one I'm wearing, but the facing colors that it's made up of are based on a uniform I had when I was first given the position of General and Commander-in-Chief. My Fairfax County Independent Company uniform. So I suppose you could argue that the blue and buff in those days had some reference, because it is the color usually associated to the Whig Party in Great Britain. But nowadays, the colors of the uniforms are based on my decision. And I mentioned the different facing colors, for instance. Mid-Atlantic states all have red facings on theirs. All general officers have buff. The only thing of true significance to our cause is on my hat. You all see my cockade? I don't know if you can tell from where you sit, but that cockade is two colors. Can you tell that?
I can see a layer underneath.
Do you know what colors those are?
Looks like buff
It might
and...
be easier if I take it off. Where is it? Because one of the colors matches the hat.
Yes, buff and black. I could see the second layer.
Our Army wears black cockades. We have since the war begun. That we have borrowed from our enemy. That's Hanoverian black. They wear black cockades as well. The French wear white cockades. This is an alliance cockade. In our case, of any of the Americans, it is a white cockade over a black cockade. If a French officer was with me present, you would see that he wears a black cockade over a white cockade. And that is simply a symbol of our present alliance. I never heard of him before the war, sir. I do have. The question is my opinions of Cornwallis prior to the war and what my opinions of him were before this war. And I've never met the man before. I've met him on the field of battle since the war has begun. This isn't the first time I've faced him. He was at the Battle of Princeton and the Second Battle of Trenton. And he's an excellent field commander. But I've never met the man. There are British soldiers and officers, however, that I do know. In fact, when I first took command of this army, it changed by the time I arrived there. But the general who was holding Boston when the war begun is a personal friend of mine. Has been for years, ever since the late war with France. Fortunately for me, and for circumstances, he was replaced by General Howe before I arrived. And we are no longer, I should probably mention this, General Gage and myself are no longer engaged in communication either because of the war.